can be hard to find a truly impressive and useful virtual instrument these days. It seems like they relatively do the same thing at times. That ends now. Today, we're going to be going over Skaka by Klevgrand. It's an easy to use sampler and sequencer just for percussion loops. By the end of this video, you're going to realize that this is the VST you didn't know that you wanted, but you can't live without. You ready? Let's get into it. First, let's start with an overview of the VST. We have our preset browser here, so we can go through the different presets that are already created. And of course, you see here that we have the option to create our own presets. We also have the reverb section here where we have 9 different reverbs that we can actually select from. Moving forward, we have our room sounds here, and these are convolution reverbs, and we have 4 different kinds here that we can use. Here we have the high shelf EQ gain, and this actually starts at 9.5K, so we can go ahead and boost or cut the high end on the percussion. And moving up here at the top left hand side of our screen, we have the resize button, so we can go ahead and adjust the size of the VST for our needs. Let's go ahead and jump right into the main section of this VST that we've been looking for, which are the slots. Now here in the left hand corner of the slots, you'll see a note. These are the actual notes on your keyboard that corresponds with triggering the sounds. And if we click here on the drop down, we can see the instrument selector, so we can see all the different options that we have here for these percussion loops. Once we click on this icon here, we have the option to select different rhythms that we want to use for the percussion loops. And then we also have this import export option here, so we can go ahead and import different slot settings or export different slot settings. And this is going to come in handy once we move on to one of the next sections moving forward. Right here in the middle of the slot, you'll see these little ticks. These are actually the sequences of the percussion loops that are going on. So let's go ahead and click on this, and we're going to move forward to the edit view. This is where you can really start to customize your grooves. I'm so confident in you guys' ability to customize these grooves that I truly believe that this VST can become a permanent fixture in your actual production process. Quick overview of the edit view section. We have velocity, duration, pitch, gain. These are all self-explanatory. This browse icon here is the same browse icon that we had in the other view of the slots here. It's the same thing, it's just another way to access it. It's going to really come in handy as you start to customize your grooves and save them. You want to easily recall them. You're going to be able to go here to browse and then go ahead and import those different grooves that you create. And next to the grid, we have our snap to grid option here, which is going to look familiar to a lot of you guys. So with this magnet here, this decides if we're going to go ahead and snap everything to the grid. Now to the left and to the right of it, you're going to see something a little different. So these 2 options lock in whether or not we want to prevent these event values from moving up and down or left and right. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we have it here on 16th notes. I have these 2 options here selected, so I can easily move the value up and down, and I can easily move it left and right. Now, if I deselect it up and down, I can no longer move it up and down. And then if I deselect left and right, I can't move it left and right. So what does this mean? What's the function of this? So if you're creating a really unique groove, you really get into the moment, you don't want to accidentally click on these different events while you're doing it. This really comes in handy. You know, sometimes if we accidentally select something we didn't intend to, and kind of throw us off creatively. So I'm really glad that this company created this and allowed this to be in the VST to prevent us from making those, you know, accidents that can kind of throw off the flow of the creative process, if that makes sense. There's a couple cool features down here at the bottom section of the edit window. So we have here the name of the instrument. We can also click on that drop down and change the actual instrument that we're using here. And to the left of that, you'll see the MIDI note here. So we have C. Just to let you know, unfortunately, once you click on the MIDI note here, it actually can't be changed. That's something I assumed would be possible, but it's not, unfortunately. So this is just a reminder of which note on our keyboard we're going to be selecting to activate this particular percussion loop. And moving down a little bit further, we're going to see this delay slider, which is actually one of my favorite features of this virtual instrument. So what exactly is the purpose of this delay? Sometimes whenever I'm creating different types of loose percussion, things can kind of feel a little bit stiff because things tend to get locked to the grid whenever we're doing things in a DAW. So this delay feature actually allows us to slip things a little bit off beat. So it takes things a little bit offset. Shout out to the Migos. It moves things a little bit offset to give us that looser, more free-flowing type of groove. So if you're making a beat, you have the instruments going, you're really liking how the percussion is moving, don't be afraid to use this delay slider to kind of make the percussion even a little bit more loose, if that makes sense. And you're gonna hear it in a second once we get to listening to these actual percussion loops. Moving down a bit further, we have here sync, so we can sync the percussion to the beat or to the actual timeline of your DAW. And I actually like this also is time, so we can have things in standard time, double time, and half time, which is really cool because if we're making a beat, we're liking how the percussion loop is going, we don't have to load up halftime to get experimental. You can just come right here in the VST, click on half, and see what kind of unique grooves you get with this. Another useful knob we have here in this VST is shuffle. Now, this is very similar to the swing knob that we have here in FL Studio. We have it right here built into this VST. So once again, you can get really unique grooves by just turning this a bit, seeing how exactly it moves the flow of the rhythm. You can get some really cool results. So I wanted to point that out, and I want you guys to try this whenever you download this VST. Now the moment that you've all been waiting for. How does this VST actually sound like in a beat? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play a Afrobeat guitar loop that I have here. It's actually included in my free Afrobeat loop pack. It's called Paradise. You can get that at DesmondASounds.com. Go ahead, get it for free. Use it in your own beat and make some hits. So I'm gonna pull up that free Afrobeat guitar loop that I have. Then I'm gonna slowly add in the shakers and percussion from Skaka. Then I'm gonna add in some kicks and snares and just a couple of things there to actually get the groove of the beat going so you can really feel how this VST sounds like in the context of a real beat. So what did you guys think about that? I really feel like it gave the beat a nice loose groove that I was looking for. I didn't really have to sort through and load and look at all kinds of different sounds and libraries like you have to do in something like Splice. No disrespect to Splice. I just like that this was on the fly. I was in the middle of the beat. I was feeling the groove and I was able to just drop in these different loops right there where I needed to. I'm really entrenched in it. I'm feeling the music the way I'm supposed to be doing, not searching or clicking and typing like I'm looking for an email or something like that. I'm, moving my shoulders as I'm making the beat the way things really should be. So I'm really liking this VST. I gotta be honest with you guys. And if you don't make music like this with the kind of ethnic kind of grooves to it, maybe you make even like trap beats or you make drill beats. You never know what you could do getting creative with this, especially like I pointed out earlier, creating your own grooves in the edit window. So instead of using what you're already comfortable with, I recommend that you guys go ahead and give this VST a try. Of course it comes with a trial. Go ahead and download the VST, try it out. If you like it, then make the purchase. This company actually gives you the option to purchase the VST outright, so you don't have to deal with any type of subscription or anything like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was not a sponsored video, just a fellow producer and engineer giving out some good game. If you enjoyed this VST, make sure you look at the description or one of the pinned comments. It'll give you a link to go ahead and download this VST. Just to let you know, it is an affiliate link, so anything that's made from it is going to come right back to the channel. so I can make more videos so you don't have to waste your time downloading different VSTs that might just be all hype. So if you like that, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit like. My name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond A.